Good evening. Teachers Democracy Project would like to thank the Office of Engagement for incorporating much of our feedback into the engagement policy and for assuring us that some of our concerns will be addressed when the guidance document associated with this policy is produced. At this point, we do still have a few large concerns that we think should be addressed before this policy is voted on. The first one, right now the policy describes the sole purpose of family engagement as student success. Though every initiative at city schools is ultimately about student success, this comes off as too broad and misses addressing the root cause of family disengagement. Engagement is not merely an issue of teaching families to support their children with homework. It must also involve addressing the history of family mistrust and disengagement. We feel that this policy should state that the purpose is about creating a culture of partnership. This kind of language would imply a more expansive way of thinking about the kind of engagement needed to achieve student success. Our second issue we are seeing is a lack of robustness around defining two-way communication. Right now, two-way communication seems focused on the transfer of information, where communication flows both ways and encourages frequent, open, transparent, and responsive dialogue between the receiver and the sender. We propose adding language that acknowledges that two-way communication should lead to a stronger overall structure for creating inclusivity, democracy, support for learning, and problem solving. Expanding the definition of this beyond the basic transactional communication is critical to inspiring truly inclusive spaces. The third issue, the stated purpose of SFC councils falls short. Right now, it says that they are people who come together to support school improvement and student learning and to facilitate information sharing within the school community. It should be stated that these groups are supposed to work on school goals that support student learning, student wholeness, and school climate. These groups are also critical to the co-creation and monitoring of the school performance plan. This kind of change is important to changing SFC councils from compliance spaces to useful collaborative planning and monitoring spaces. Our final issue is that there's currently some confusing language about the various plans that schools have to produce, which relate to family engagement. This should be clarified, and a school should produce one plan to guide the goals and strategies for the year. We thank you for hearing our feedback and recommend that the board not vote on this policy this evening, but allow more time for these changes to be reflected on and made thoughtfully. Thank you so much for hearing us.